has just been hit with 7 new lawsuits, including one from a 13-year-old victim at the time. Tony Busby just announced that he filed 7 new lawsuits against Diddy this evening, and there is 2 minors listed in these 7 lawsuits. 2 of the new alleged victims were saying that they were teenagers when this abuse happened. One was 17 years old, and the other one was a girl who said that she was 13 years old. Diddy is being accused of aggravated SA, and exploitation in these 7 lawsuits by 4 males and 3 females. Diddy is being accused of drugging this 13-year-old girl in 2000, allegedly SAing a man in 2022, and SA of a woman also in 2022. Tony Busby said that several other individuals are referenced in the case filings, but not at this time formally named as defendants. Some of this abuse goes back as far as the 2000s, and most of the recent events occurred in 2022. Tony Busby also said that this is not where it's going to end, that we are going to see more and more lawsuits filed as time goes on, and others should start to be worried. And these new Diddy lawsuits are absolutely horrifying, especially knowing that there is a 13-year-old and 17-year-old, and honestly, this isn't even the youngest one that Tony Busby said that we're going to have. If you remember, he said 9 years old will be the youngest, and we haven't even got there yet. But you guys let me know what you guys think about Diddy getting hit with 7 new lawsuits.
All right, y'all. Everybody, make sure to hit the like button and drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. And drop popcorn emojis in the chat. So this is 13 lawsuits and not 7 lawsuits, because we're going to talk about what happened yesterday or the day before yesterday, and we're going to talk about the new lawsuits that happened today. So it's so much where it's absolutely ridiculous. So drop popcorn emojis in the chat and drop your city in the chat and let me know who is in the building. Shout out to Texas, Sacramento, Orlando, Florida, Dallas, Fort Worth, Atlanta, Louisiana, Milwaukee. All right, y'all are in the building, so let's keep going. Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button.
The comments.
The biggest secret in the entertainment industry that really wasn't a secret at all has finally been revealed to the world. The wall of silence has now been broken, and victims are coming forward. Our team has had at this point more than 3,285 individuals contact us with people claiming to have been victimized by Sean Combs. After vetting, we now represent 120 individuals who intend to bring civil claims in civil court against Sean Diddy Combs, as well as claims against many other individuals and entities that we will name as defendants as we file these individual cases. And you should know, to the extent the clients feel comfortable, we also intend to make these individuals available to the authorities, specifically to the FBI. And you should also know a few of them have already been spoken to by the FBI. Now, before we discuss the nature of the claims and claimants themselves, let me comment on the large volume of calls we have received since our first announcement. Even before the indictment of Sean Combs, we had received a small volume of calls and had screened a handful of cases. After the indictment of Sean Combs and the announcement that we were pursuing these claims, the floodgates opened. People who wouldn't otherwise, for a variety of reasons, are now stepping forward to make their voices heard and to pursue justice. But no, most of these people are scared. They fear backlash in their communities.
And I want to stop right there because I want to ask you all, what's up, Terica? I want to ask you all just for a second, and we're going to get back to the videos. If something happened to you, male or female, I'm talking to everybody watching. Just say you were at a party, right? And in one of the lawsuits, it was somebody that went live with Sean Combs, and the person was like, yo, look, I know P. Diddy. P. Diddy is watching right here, right? And then the other person was like, what? P. Diddy blank Tupac and Biggie. I don't like him. And Diddy actually hears you say that, and the person that you were cool with, imagine if your friend or somebody that you cool with just at a club, y'all hanging out together, and they call Diddy on the phone, is like, yo, I pinned my address, pull up. And then Diddy runs up on you and not just beats you up, but blanks you. So I'm talking to the men and the women in the chat. If you know that Diddy has police on their payroll, on his payroll, what would you do the next day? You wake up on the floor, you have a recollection of what happened, your butt hurts, you know, you have baby oil all over you. You inside of your apartment, and you know you dizzy. What do you do, man or woman? What are you going to do? And make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to hit the like button. And the reason why hitting the like button is important, because I'm waiting to hear y'all response in the chat, is the more people actually physically like the video, the more people come in. So when people say hit the like button, it's important for YouTube to know whether this video sucks or whether this video is lit. And for us to be able to show the rest of the YouTube world that we in here and we lit, y'all have to hit the like button. All right. So hit the like button in order to get more people to know that we're here. So what do y'all think? Like, what would y'all do if you know the police will not be on your side? Because we can sit here and look at these people like, yo, why didn't they call the police? Why didn't they do this? Why didn't? Well, the people always call the police, but the police never show up, or they don't take a report. Or if they take a report, guess what? The report mysteriously just disappears. So my question to you is, what would you do? What would you do in the case that something happens? And please don't say the R word. Jamila, please don't say the R word. All right, please don't say the R word. So I'm gonna remove your comment, but I'm not mad at you, but you can't say the R word in the chat. So please don't say the R word. But thank you for commenting. But what would y'all do? Homie, it sucks. All you doing is talking about Diddy. Okay, whatever. That's what we're talking about. But let me know what y'all would do in the chat, because these people literally don't know what to do with themselves after this stuff happens.
They fear backlash in their own families. They are afraid of retaliation from the perpetrators and their associates. They are rightly afraid for their own personal safety. I expect that through this process, many powerful people will be exposed.
Because this is a real thing that can actually affect a person's psyche, where they're sitting here like, yo, I'm powerless.
Which, based on
what's up, Willetta?
Our research, is known as a horse tranquilizer.
You just got numbed with horse tranquilizers and is wearing off, and you don't even know what to do. You don't even know what's in your system. So Honey says she'll still report. Okay. What if he tells you that if you call the police or go to police, the police works for him. So all they're going to do is call his cell phone and let him know that you still trying to snitch on him. And now your mama is in danger. Your sister is in danger. Your cousin is in danger. Now what? Like what would you do if you know that the police are going to call Diddy and let Diddy know that you called the police on him and now your mama is in danger? This is some scary stuff.
He hired a death penalty attorney. New York's not a death penalty state. However, he's being charged federally. In federal cases, they still do have the death penalty. He hasn't been charged with crimes that could bring the death penalty yet, but maybe he anticipates much, much more coming down the pipeline, especially since we have things like Tupac's family hiring lawyers to investigate murder connections potentially.
Whoa, 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 whoa. This could work though. Leticia just said something that could actually work. Go live and report it to the world and report it to law enforcement and request for protection and file protection through the courts and keep going live. Well, if the police work for Diddy, the police ain't gonna help you, but going live could actually be something because it's live. It's not a recording. That could be something. Just go live and just say, this just happened to me. Look at me, look at my house, and look at it. Yes, I think that would be something that would be worth doing that can actually help, because when it's out there, and it's like, if everybody that runs across Diddy in a situation like this pulls out their phone and goes live, kind of like, do y'all remember when the baby actually went live because his girl was acting up on him? I think that would be a great answer. Just go live on Instagram and be like, yo, Diddy just walked in my house and he's threatening me. And if y'all don't hear from me, that means he just threw me out the balcony. Or if y'all hear something that done happen to me, it's because of him. He's in my house. Why is Diddy in my house? And that is something that can actually work. Shout out to Anchorage, Alaska. Shout out to Bronx, New York. That is something that can actually help. And this isn't just for Diddy or about Diddy. This is about if you are being SA'd or potentially SA'd, or you feel like you're in trouble. A good thing to do, if you think that the police isn't going to do anything, go live and sit the phone down somewhere and let it just be live while you're talking to the accoster. Whether it's your boyfriend, whether you're a guy and your girl is acting up, kind of like with Safari and Erica Mena, go live on your phone and lay the phone down somewhere so people on live can hear what is going on and they can call authorities. That's an actual thought. That is an actual thought. So thank you for bringing that up. That's why I'm glad I asked y'all that, because that was a very interesting response. I never really thought about that, because you can expose a person to everybody instead of it just being a recording.
He hired a death penalty attorney. New York's not a death penalty state. However, he's being charged federally. In federal cases, they still do have the death penalty. He hasn't been charged with crimes that could bring the death penalty yet, but maybe he anticipates much, much more coming down the pipeline, especially since we have things like Tupac's family hiring lawyers to investigate murder connections potentially between Diddy and Tupac. That's why people think that maybe he hired this death penalty attorney, because he's afraid he might get it. The people who have been coming out on TikTok with kind of the detailed coverage between Jay-Z and Beyoncé and Diddy, a bunch of them came out with these sort of apologies, claiming that somebody from Beyoncé and Jay-Z's team had reached out with a letter demanding an apology.
That right there is a little scary. That right there is kind of scary. And watch what happens next.
So nuts.
It's so nuts, but what's really weird, and another TikToker pointed this out, is that so far none of them have showed the evidence of receiving the letter.
Are they actually getting these letters?
At one point, Diddy and
What if I got a letter from Jay-Z and Beyoncé. I'm not apologizing. I'm not apologizing. I would stop if they're going to try to sue me, but I'm not apologizing for nothing, because why am I apologizing? I'm not sorry. I would stop because I don't want to get sued, but I'm not apologizing. It's the apology that's so eerie about this. Like, have y'all heard of any TikToker that, because I tried to look it up, have y'all heard of any TikTok person just mysteriously apologizing for talking about Beyonce? Has anybody? Because that's crazy. Look at Michael Cox's interview with Courtney, the guy who has the proof. I don't know who Michael Cox is, and I don't know who that is.
So it's really weird, and another TikToker pointed this out, is that so far none of them have showed the evidence of receiving the letter.
Are they actually getting these letters?
At one point, Diddy and Biggie were a little too close.
So I want y'all to look at this. Diddy was smashing Biggie because no man is ever going to put his hand, because a dude will just lean on his homeboy's shoulder. I've seen that. But I want y'all to look at how Biggie was rubbing his face on Diddy's hand like this. This was super gay. Watch this.
I'm like, I say Jesus.
And next question is,
look at that. Like, what is this? Biggie was gay.
At one point, Diddy and Biggie
Look at this. Like, why are you rubbing your face on this man's hand?
were a little too close.
I look at him like, I say Jesus.
and next question is,
But eventually, Biggie got tired of whatever that was and told Diddy,
I just read all 62 pages of the newest Diddy lawsuit, and by
crazy.
far this is the most disturbing thing I've ever read. This is the point where I usually tell you to grab a cocktail, but this time I'm asking you to grab some tissue and definitely your earphones. Ashley Parham is the newest plaintiff to file suit against Diddy, but she also is suing a few others. She's also suing Christina Corum, here she is, Shane Pierce, and 3 John Does and 1 Jane Doe. And for those who don't know, John Doe and Jane Doe is a fictitious name that is used when the person's real name is unknown or being concealed. What we do know about these people is that Christina is an employee of Diddy. She's also known as his right-hand woman. And Shane, unfortunately, is someone that Ashley considered to be a friend. Back in February of 2018, Shane and Ashley met. He actually came to her rescue as she was getting into an altercation with another man at a bar. After the whole ordeal, a bunch of people are standing outside the bar talking, and then Shane decides to FaceTime Diddy, kind of showing everyone, look who my friend is, I'm important. Ashley kind of makes a face and is completely unimpressed and makes a statement on how she believes that Diddy has something to do with Tupac's death. Diddy, who's still on FaceTime, overheard the comment that Ashley made and told her she would pay for saying that. So after this whole ordeal at the bar, Shane and Ashley become friends and they keep in touch.
Real quick commercial break, and we'll find out what happens next. That will help every woman watching. I just came up with a solution that will help every woman watching, regardless of age, regardless of background. See, in my 7 years of coaching women, the number one thing that I hear in my coaching sessions is her issue or tumultuous relationship with her mother. So what I've done is come out with a card game that will actually help mothers and daughters come back together. We have to get to the source of a woman's pain, her inadequacies, her insecurities, and heal that little girl inside of her before she goes out in the world as a woman. I call Like Mother, Like Daughter, therapy in a box. Therapy in a box is 50 questions for the daughter to ask the mother, questions that you always wanted to ask. And it's also 50 questions for the mother to ask the daughter. But when you're able to ask the questions that you always wanted to ask to your mother without her getting upset, without her pulling rank on you, the lines of communication are now open. When women are finally able to forgive their mother, forgive their father, forgive what happened to them, and most importantly, hear her mother's side of the story that she never divulged to you, relationships outside of the household would then blossom. Because for most women, there's a hurt little girl inside of her that never had an opportunity to be seen, or heard. All of the resentment, the lack of being heard, but all that stops when you buy my new Like Mother, Like Daughter card game. Order it now. The link is under this video. Click the link and let's start healing. All right, 4 more days. In 4 more days, my mother-daughter card game will officially be out. In 4 more days. I'm supposed to get it on the 25th, which means that the pre-order price, which is $62, will go up to $200 in the next 4 days. So if anybody has seen me advertise my mother-daughter card game, there's 52 cards for the mother and 52 cards for the daughter. So y'all can actually, start healing and having a conversation that you've never been able to have with your mother or your daughter. Get your card game now. It's $62 now. But if you wait, in 4 days, it's going to be $200. Letitia said, I'm buying mine today. Just don't forget, because in 4 days, everybody is going to get their card game. And this is going to be all over the place. I'm going to be on Good Morning America and all this stuff. And it's going to be $200. And you're going to be like, damn, I should have got it at $62. So if you have a tumultuous relationship with your mom, or if you have a tumultuous relationship with your child, make sure to get your card game before 4 days, before the 25th. Because on the 25th, once I get these cards in my hand, they will be $200. Right now, they're $62. So everybody click the link. I'm dropping the link in the chat now. And the link is also under this video. The link is also under this video. And get your card game right now. Or pay $200 when it comes out in 4 days. All right, so let's get back to this story.
Rolls around and Shane calls Ashley and asks.
Hit the like button, 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 hit the like button. If you have not already, drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. If you have not already, drop your city in the chat.
Is completely unimpressed and makes a statement on how she believes that Diddy has something to do with Tupac's death. Diddy, who's still on FaceTime, overheard the comment that Ashley made and told her she would pay for saying that. So after this whole ordeal at the bar, Shane and Ashley become friends and they keep in touch. March 2018 rolls around and Shane calls Ashley and asks her to come over to help him take his cancer medication. He said he was too weak to open the bottles. Little did Ashley know this is actually a setup and potentially about to be one of the worst days of her life. After she arrives, they make small talk. He tells her how he just got this new car and he wants to give her a spin. Now we know hindsight is 20/20, but this is a sign. How you too weak to open medicine, but you well enough to drive? Nonetheless, they head for a little spin in his car and head back onto the house. Once back inside his apartment, she notices that he leaves the door slightly open, so she mentions it to him and he says, oh, the door's been tripping. I told maintenance about it. They should be fixing it soon. About 10 minutes later, guess who comes right on in? You guessed it. Diddy. Oh, but he doesn't come alone. He's there with Christina and also his bodyguard. The bodyguard is named as John Doe number 1. Also, Jane Doe is there, another woman who she does not know, but she describes her to be in her 30s with blonde hair. And John Doe number 2 and 3 are there, who's supposedly a friend of Diddy and Shane's and also Diddy's driver. According to the lawsuit, John Doe number 3, the driver never came inside. He stayed in the car. Ashley states that Diddy immediately started to antagonize her about the comments she made about Tupac. He started walking towards her with the knife, held it up to the right side of her face, and said that he should give her a Glasgow smile. If you don't know what that is, it usually is when the victim gets a cut on each side of their mouth all the way to their ears. Then Christina urged Diddy to stop, suggesting that it wouldn't be a good idea. They could just sell her to one of their clients. Then Christina went on to threaten Ashley and said she would ship her off to anywhere in the world and she would never see her family again. Diddy and Shane then proceeded to strip Ashley of all her clothing. They pulled a bottle out of a bag and started pouring that liquid all over her. She was in fear at
So this is how they utilize the baby oil. I'm sure everybody knows that the baby oil that Diddy had confiscated from his hotel room, the 1,000 bottles of baby oil, it was laced allegedly with GHB. And with GHB, laced baby oil, and you already know baby oil is like in a squirt bottle, he can just so it's kind of like macing somebody, right? So he maces people with this GHB laced baby oil, and it renders a person incapable of really moving.
First thinking that it was some kind of chemical, but then she soon realized that it was baby oil. Then Diddy instructed Christina to insert what looked like a syringe up Ashley's vag. Then something went wrong. Whatever was a part of their plan with this syringe, Christina wasn't doing it right, so Diddy started inserting it himself. Christina and Jane Doe decide to leave, and so now Ashley is alone with Diddy, Shane, John Doe number 1 and 2. Next, Diddy
What's up, LaVon?
picks up a television remote that's nearby and starts violently.
Let me hold on. Okay. You already know what she did. I mean, what he did with the remote control. That's kind of like self-explanatory.
Ashley is hysterically crying and screaming, and Diddy instructs Shane to flip her over on her stomach because he doesn't want to see or hear none of that. Diddy then instructed Shane to put a pillow over her head to muffle some of the screams, and then Shane proceeded to R-word her anally.
And this is in a lawsuit.
After Shane, then Diddy, John Doe number 1, and John Doe number 2 all took turns doing the same. She also stated that before John Doe started, he doused her with more oil and then jumped on her back as if she was a slip and slide, which knocked the wind out of her because he was a large person. She also stated that while John Doe number 1 was doing this to her, that Diddy was sitting in a chair in the room masturbating and filming. During this whole ordeal, John Doe's phone falls near the bed. She tries to reach for it but can't grab it, and she says Diddy starts laughing and says he owns her now. She stated that by the time it was over, she could not move and she had no control over her bodily functions. At some point, Christina comes back into the room and starts giving Ashley an IV. I think that this is a good spot to end this video. I don't want it to get too long, and we're not even halfway through the lawsuit. So let me know what you think.
And I got part 2. There's a part 2 that is even worse than that. Well, is as bad as that. I got a part 2 from another woman. We'll talk about that in a minute. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button, and drop popcorn emojis in the chat, and drop baby oil emojis in the chat. Shout out to Duval. And none of this is a laughing matter, so I don't want anybody to think I'm making fun of anybody by saying drop popcorn or baby oil emojis in the chat. It's just something I usually do. So with this situation, I'm not making light of the situation because this was a traumatic experience for somebody, but it's an engagement thing, get people to engage. So I just don't want anybody to think I'm being insensitive.
Thus far in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.
The thing that's really suspicious with Brittany Murphy's death is she had the same coroner as Kim Porter. His name was Ed Winters, and he also...
So this right here is absolutely crazy. People, I seen DJ Envy from the Breakfast Club say, I don't understand. They're saying he deleted Kim Porter. They're saying this baby oil, this and that. I don't understand why he's going to jail for baby oil. And how can they turn around and say Kim Porter was deleted if there's no evidence? Well, this is the reason why. And I'm not going to say Diddy is a genius, because it was probably something that somebody before Diddy was doing. But the coroner is the key to getting away with murkings. The coroner is the key. So the reason why rich people never seem to go to jail is because of coroners. It's not because they know how to commit a murking perfectly, the blood splatters or the way to whether it was forced entry. No, it's the police officers, the detectives, and the coroner. So Diddy had the police force under payroll. He had the homicide detectives on payroll, and he also had the coroner on payroll. Because if the coroner says it was pneumonia, who are you as a person that don't know none of this stuff to turn around and say, oh, he's lying? The coroner is the only person that can actually say how somebody died. Not even a doctor, because a doctor is different than a coroner. A doctor don't know what's going on with a person after they dead. They only know how to deal with a person while they're alive. So the coroner is the person that literally keeps you out of prison for all these years. So listen to this shit.
Actually, an IV. I think that this is a good spot to end this video. I don't want it to get too long, and we're not even halfway through the lawsuit. So let me know what you think thus far in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.
The thing that's really suspicious with Brittany Murphy's death is she had the same coroner as Kim Porter. His name was Ed Winters, and he also did Paul Walker's, Whitney Houston's, Tom Petty's, and Michael Jackson's autopsies. He ended up dying before Kim Porter's second autopsy.
The coroner did?
The coroner died too. Think about how crazy that is. You're on Diddy's payroll, and he's paying you to hide all of these deaths, right? Never does it hit your head, he gonna get rid of me too at some point. What's up, Mo Easy? What's up, M? Think about that. I'm Diddy's coroner, and all these people, all these famous people are showing up dead, and I'm getting paid handsomely to hide all these deaths. At some point, does it not hit your mind that he gonna get rid of me too? Because I'm literally the only person on the planet, that can prove that Michael Jackson and all of these other people were M-worded or murked, because it's different M words. Yo.
The coroner died.
Everybody hit the like button, everybody hit the like button, everybody hit the like button, everybody hit the like button. What are my likes looking like, Terica? What are my likes looking like? What are my likes looking like? Moise, why you don't have a wrench? Let me give you a wrench, Moise.
Between Kim Porter's
That's
first and second autopsies.
Super weird.
Yeah, it's super, super weird.
John Diddy Combs doused victim in lubricant mixed with date rape drug to make her, quote, easier to assault. This victim's lawyer went on News Nation. She's representing this woman whose name has not been made available. This woman said that Diddy squirted her all over her body with some type of lubricant or oil, after which she noticed herself becoming more and more limp. The victim didn't recall being forced to consume any drugs. But the oil apparently can be a conduit for Rohypnol, which is GHB, which is also
Rohypnol,
the date rape drug. It's also a situation where it's like, if people refuse your drinks because maybe you have a reputation of drugging people, this is a different.
All right, y'all. So they're saying we need 150 more likes. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. So we need 150 more likes, y'all. And thank you to the people who have already liked the button. So make sure to hit the like button. We need 150 more likes, please. And thank you.
Different way to do it.
There is this conspiracy theory going around TikTok where multiple celebs have won an award. Instead of accepting the award, they either dedicate their award to Beyoncé or they talk about how amazing Beyoncé is. Adele won a Grammy, and during her Grammy speech, she literally broke off a piece of her Grammy to give to Beyoncé. Then there was Lizzo.
Wait, broke off a piece of her Grammy? She broke off a piece of her Grammy and gave it to Beyonce?
So she basically broke down crying about how amazing Beyonce was. Then Britney Spears was up there with Lady Gaga. While she was accepting the award, she basically just goes on this whole diatribe about how amazing Beyonce is. And then Lady Gaga comes in and says, I've had the privilege of being around her gift and knowing what an incredible artist and kind woman she is. Beyoncé is a beautiful soul. There is nobody like her. And the conspiracy theory of the situation is that Kanye went on stage and said that about Beyoncé to save Taylor. All these people are going up and accepting their awards and thanking Beyoncé to like save themselves because Taylor was kind of aloof and not part of the club. He was allegedly saving her.
It was an adult party. Well, with tequila, I do this thing where I can pick up a grape. Not with my hands, not my feet, not in my mouth.
Motherfucker die in that beard than Diddy wear.
So let's back this up a little bit. There's a lot of information that just came out. First, I want to touch on this Beyoncé stuff. In my opinion, Beyoncé isn't that big of an artist. Beyoncé is awesome, but Beyoncé is not this world-renowned. Like I don't. Her music is good, but it's not that big of a deal to me, right? For artists better than her to sit here and gush about Beyoncé when they win the award instead of Beyoncé. But it's a possibility that Beyoncé, Jay-Z, as well as Diddy, could be the same type of people. And they're so afraid. That's what I'm saying. Like, Whitney Houston is 1,000 times better than Beyoncé. Adele is better than Beyoncé. So when you turn around and just look at why people seem to be so afraid of winning an award when they think they should give it to Beyoncé, there's a possibility that if you don't pay homage to Beyoncé when you win an award, something may happen to you. And I wanted to rewind this because y'all may not know this, but every time a female artist wins an award, a Grammy in particular, over Beyoncé, they stop making music. I'll say it again. Every time a female artist wins a Grammy Award against Beyoncé, they stop making music. Rihanna stopped making music. Adele stopped making music. The only person who won a Grammy and continued to make music was Taylor Swift. But there's two reasons why Taylor Swift kept making music or was allowed, keyword allowed, to keep making. Carrie Hilson. Exactly, Moise. The reason why, does anybody know? Let me ask, does anybody know why Taylor Swift, Lady Gaga? Yes. So Lady Gaga and Carrie Hilson and Adele and Rihanna all just mysteriously stopped. But does anybody know why Taylor Swift kept making music after she won her Grammy? Does anybody know why? I want to give y'all a second. Does anybody know why? Taylor Swift's father. That's it. Taylor Swift's father is bigger than everybody. So we're going to talk about Taylor Swift's father in a second, but I just want to back this up a little bit and we're going to go from there. Check this out.
Of drugging people. This is a different way to do it.
there is this conspiracy theory going around TikTok where multiple celebs have won an award. Instead of accepting the award, they either dedicate their award to Beyoncé or they talk about how amazing Beyoncé is. Adele won a Grammy, and during her Grammy speech, she literally broke off a piece of her Grammy to give to Beyoncé. Then there was Lizzo. She basically broke down crying about how
Lizzo. Forgot about Lizzo. Lizzo stopped making music.
Amazing Beyoncé was. Then Britney Spears was up there.
Britney Spears stopped making music. So hold on. Let's see. So hold on. So we got Lizzo, Britney Spears, J-Lo. I don't think, hold on, J-Lo? I don't know if J-Lo won a Grammy. Wait, Lizzo still making music? Lizzo still don't make no music. Carrie Hilson. Who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? Somebody said somebody else. Adele. And is that it? Of course, Whitney Houston was killed. All right, so watch this.
With Lady Gaga. While she was accepting the award, she basically just goes,
Lady Gaga.
on this whole diatribe about how amazing Beyonce is. And then Lady Gaga comes in and says, I've had the privilege of being around her gift and knowing what an incredible artist and kind woman she is. Beyonce is a beautiful soul. There is nobody like her. And the conspiracy theory of this situation is that Kanye went on stage and said that about Beyonce to save Taylor. All these people are going up and accepting their awards and thanking Beyonce to like save themselves because Taylor was kind of aloof and not part of the club. He was allegedly saving her.
It was an adult party. Well, with tequila, I do this thing where I can pick up a grape. Not with my hands, not my feet, not in my mouth.
Gay. Die in that beard and
Gay.
All right, that's enough.
I know.
That's enough.
I seen him. He shows me behind the curtain.
That's a fucking enough. All right, I'm gonna edit. I'm gonna edit this out.
But still,
Put a fucking
put a note on it. You can edit that one. I don't.
Who was interested first? Who said I love you first? Who's more protective? Who cleans more? Who eats the most? Who spends the most money? Who is most likely to start an argument? Who falls asleep first? Who is more annoying?
Aware of the Diddy cameras around the home, but I never saw them, you see. So his cameras maybe had been a little bit more hidden, but Hugh Hefner's cameras were very, very old school, so you could see them. They were like right there, you know. So when you hear about the allegations and what's happened to these celebrities and them, you know, being in the moment and forgetting there's cameras there and doing the things that they've done, it's very easily done.
You want to know the craziest thing I saw on the internet today? It was a video of a guy saying he decided to just quickly Google if there was any correlation between baby oil and pneumonia. Wouldn't you believe it? There is. I didn't believe it when I heard it because that sounded a little too convenient, right? So I Googled it myself. Turns out there is a correlation. There is a correlation. If you ingest baby oil, it can cause pneumonia. To take it further, I made sure that there were medical reports on it, medical studies, and there are. Baby oil can cause pneumonia. It can actually kill people. And to be honest, this feels like a reach to me, to be honest, because baby oil, knowing the type of parties that Diddy had, it would make more sense that it would be used as
That the music industry. All right, so it took me a second to find it, but this is what I wanted to say about her daddy, whatever her name is, Taylor Swift. So this is the reason why Taylor Swift was not affected, allegedly, by Beyonce.
What if I told you that the music industry has a really dark side? But see, you probably know that already. But how deep does the rabbit hole really go? In this video, we'll be diving deep into the rabbit hole of the music industry. Now, it's interesting with all the documents that have been coming out about Diddy, right? Because there is no longer any mention of any minors in those documents, right? But there's also no mention of an individual named Lucian Grange. But we'll get to Lucian here in a second. And as you can see in the indictment, prosecutors allege that since 2008, supposedly, that Combs has been part of a criminal organization that engaged or attempted to engage in sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, obstruction to justice, and other offenses. But it's really interesting over the years who Diddy himself decided to associate himself with, which just so happens to ironically be a lot of people that just so happen to be on the Epstein list. But I'm sure that's no surprise to anybody. But what is really interesting is the fact that Diddy earlier this year just so happened to allegedly hire Bobby Sternheim to replace New York City Attorney Jonathan Davis to represent him in court, which previously made headlines for defending Ghislaine Maxwell in her sex trafficking case. And allegedly, according to some other reports, Sternheim also previously represented Osama bin Laden's henchman, Khalid al-Fawaz, in his 2015 trial over the 1998 U.S. embassy bombings in Africa that killed more than 200 people. So very interesting person for Diddy to reach out to, right? But it's also interesting because Epstein in himself was renowned to be doing those activities of his own during the 2008 time period. And right in the midst of a lot of this being put out into the public, the 2008 financial collapse just so coincidentally happened. And I'm sure something like that, especially with how big it was, would take a lot of attention off of something like that. But hey, who am I to tell you the obvious, right? But how deep does the rabbit hole with the music industry really go, one might ask? Well, to discover that, we'd have to start looking at somebody like Lucian Grange. And like I mentioned, Lucian Grange...
All right, here we go. We're going to talk about Taylor Swift because I'm always about the rabbit hole. It's not about Diddy. It's about all these other people also. And how was Diddy able to get away with all of this stuff?
Grange and himself just so happened to coincidentally take himself out of the court case with Diddy from the allegations that were placed against him, as Lucian himself had allegations against him for financing those Diddy parties, saying that basically it's bullshit. But is it? Because if you look into a lot of history with Diddy and Lucian Grange, there's a lot of it. And just like Taylor and P. Diddy back in 2009, Lucian Grange and P. Diddy himself were pretty close in 2009. So how do you not know that one of your top performing artists under your label aren't performing these acts? I'm sure it's something that's just really easy to miss, right? But you know what's interesting? Because Taylor Swift and herself was renowned to be at a lot of these parties. And God, when you just so happen to look into who Taylor Swift's father is, it all starts to make a lot of sense. See, I've done a video on Scott Kingsley Swift, right? And he's a very interesting individual, especially considering the fact that he just so happened to be a financial advisor for Merrill Lynch. And Scott Swift and himself was renowned to be pretty good friends with somebody named John Thane. And see, Mr. John Alexander Thane was an American financial executive and investment banker. And he was president and co-COO of Goldman Sachs, but also the CEO of the New York Stock Exchange. And Thane then became the last chairman and CEO of Merrill Lynch & Co. before its merger with Bank of America. The history of Bank of America is really interesting, by the way.
See, what a lot of people do not know or never thought about when it comes to record companies are literally just banks. That's literally what a record company is. A distribution company is literally just a bank. So when you hear all this stuff about Merrill Lynch, I prefer the call, and all these other banks, a record company is simply a bank. They give you, the artist, an advance, which is a loan. They give you a loan, and then they fund your music to get pushed out there. All of this is literally what you would do if you buy a car at a bank.
Sachs, but also...
So this is the reason why all of this has something to do with banks. And this is the reason why Taylor Swift has so much power in the music game, because her dad is a higher up in a bank.
When you just so happen to look into who Taylor Swift's father is, it all starts to make a lot of sense. See, I've done a video on Scott Kingsley Swift, right? And he's a very interesting individual, especially considering the fact that he just so happened to be a financial advisor for Merrill Lynch. And Scott Swift and himself was renowned to be pretty good friends with somebody named John Thane. And see, Mr. John Alexander Thane was an American financial executive and investment banker. And he was president.
You see, investment banker. All these people are bankers. All of these people are bankers. They're executives at banks.
COO of Goldman Sachs, but also the CEO of the New York Stock Exchange. And Thane then became the last chairman and CEO.
The New York Stock Exchange. How does all this have to do with music? Because record companies are simply banks. And banks are the ones that run the entire world.
Of Merrill Lynch & Co. before its merger with Bank of America. The history of Bank of America is really interesting, by the way. But that's something we'll touch upon in another video. Now, it's interesting because John Thane was the CEO of the New York Stock Exchange during the 2008 financial collapse. But see, Goldman Sachs was criticized for allegedly misleading its investors and...
You see how he done went from Taylor Swift to Goldman Sachs? And you're like, what does it got to do with Taylor Swift? Because her father is a part of Goldman Sachs.
Profiting from the collapse of the mortgage market during the 2007 and 2008 financial crisis. This led to investigations from the United States Congress and the United States Department of Justice and a lawsuit from the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, which definitely don't just so happen to have a lot of members that just so happen to be on the Epstein list as well. Yeah, definitely not. You definitely can't find anything on that. But you know what's interesting about Taylor Swift and the reasons why I'm talking about Goldman Sachs and Merrill Lynch? Because right when Taylor Swift's career took off, just like in 2006, BlackRock acquired Merrill Lynch's investment managers division, merging the two companies and expanding BlackRock's international and retail presence. But see, Merrill Lynch received a 49.5% stake in the company, while PNC's ownership was halved.
PNC is also a bank. Merrill Lynch. Do y'all see the correlation of all this? So while we're running around talking about Diddy, which is cool, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. But when you sit back and just think about how deep-rooted all of this, it's so much bigger than some rappers. Hold on one second. Hold on. I just got, I don't think you should just chop it up stuff to do some TikToks and say some explosive stuff. I'll be right. Hold on. Somebody just sent me some information having to do with this.
49.5% of BlackRock, but yet none of Merrill Lynch's associates are on
BlackRock. Everybody hit the like button. 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 Do y'all understand? They're talking about Merrill Lynch, PNC Bank, BlackRock. Do y'all see how scary this is? It's not about Diddy. It's not about a record company. It's not about Drake. It's not about Future or none of these rappers. It's about banks. All of this is about actual banks and not rappers. And when you follow the money and you realize that Jay-Z, Beyoncé, Diddy, what they are doing is, to a certain degree, and this is only my opinion, I don't want nobody to sue me, they are allegedly operating as recruiters and conduits to the JP Morgans, to the PNCs, to the Rothschilds, to the BlackRocks, because the Rothschilds can't walk around among black people. Executives at PNC Bank can't hang out with black people. They need black people to be the foot soldiers in order to, because here's the thing. Like I said, say there's some young rapper everybody likes. You sign them to a record deal and you loan them $1 million. That person now has the ear of young people. Banks don't have the ears of young people, or they don't have the access. So now banks have access to the common folk that are in the hoods, that are doing crimes, that are doing drugs. And because they have access to degenerate young people or drug addict or hoes or whatever, they pay people like Diddy to have Diddy parties in order to, think about this, not just launder money, because think about it. Money laundering is, I give you some money. I give this young rapper some money, right? Laundering, money laundering. You take money from over here and you give this to the young dude. Where is the money from the bank coming from? For them to have to launder it, for them to have to wash it, for them to have to spread it out among the degenerates. Because I don't know if y'all know, the easiest place to launder money is in the strip club. All right. So why is a bank dealing with common folks and giving a common person $1 million? Because they'll get that $1 million back, not by the rapper, because most rappers flop. Most rappers don't make any money. So signing a rapper to a record deal, they have to invest more money into making the rapper big. The rapper, so the whole scenario of signing a rapper never makes the record company money, or almost never makes the record company money. So what is the point of signing a rapper to $1 million record deal if they're not going to get their $1 million back? It's simple. It's money laundering. They pay somebody some money, and that somebody now siphons young girls and young boys into the trafficking world, and the banks make their money back through the degenerate people that nobody is going to miss when they disappear and go missing. So let me break this down just in case people don't understand. You have banks and you have degenerate thug rappers or drug addict rappers who know how to rap, right? The banks solicit people like Diddy, people like Birdman to operate within this degenerate environment. Gucci Mane, different people that are down with the degenerates, right? So the banks fund the degenerates, the Diddies, the Birdmans. The Diddies recruit degenerate rappers. The degenerate rappers show proof that Diddy is paying them so they can look up to the rappers and Diddy. Diddy now invites a whole bunch of degenerates to Diddy's house. So now the degenerates feel like they're somebody because they're around Diddy and the rappers. The rappers are making music, not making any money for anybody. They're just being used to attract more degenerates. The degenerates go to the Diddy parties, and a small fraction of these degenerates never make it out of the Diddy parties. So say 500 people are at a Diddy party, maybe say 300 people. 300 people are at Diddy parties. A small amount of the people are degenerates. They spray them with, baby oil, do what they got to do with them. And a small fraction, allegedly, of the people that go to these parties go missing. Where do they go? They go to another country, to another state, and now they are now in the trafficking world. But nobody reports them missing because they're degenerates. So now they are in another country selling butt, male and female, doing whatever. And that is how the banks make their money back. Not the rap music, but the random degenerates that the rappers and the executives can bring into their space so they can, let's just say, baby oil up, take advantage of, and ship them off to another country. And the other country is paying for the person. And now the money goes back to the bank. Do y'all see this and do y'all understand this? Share this video, like this video. Somebody said we are at 163 likes. We still need 100 likes. So thank y'all for hitting the like button, but make sure to hit the like button. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all understand what I'm saying. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all understand what I'm saying. Because sometimes the other channels, they just gossip and they don't go down the rabbit hole. And sometimes it can be more entertaining because they're like, ooh, girl, ooh, Jay-Z is next. I don't do all that stuff. Because I don't want Jay-Z to be next. I want one of these executives to be next. I want a bank to be next. Not no goddamn Jay-Z. Not no Beyonce. Because these people, Jay-Z, Beyonce, they are conduits of the electricity. They are conduits of the poison. They are not the actual culprits. They're just being
I'm
paid.
saying Jay-Z sacrificing people and shit and nobody tell me this? No, like for real. They are so heavily clothed. They are so clothed that you wouldn't even see it. Nobody is seeing this unless you really do your due diligence and like research. Okay, so before Jay-Z, it was Big L. But guess what happened to him? He died. And Jay-Z took his place. Jay-Z was also doing music with Tupac. Tupac died.
See, there are certain people that ain't with this shit and they end up missing. And that's one of the things that we all got to pay attention to. The banks ain't deleting nobody. They're utilizing the Diddies of the world to get rid of these people. This is the reason why Diddy is now going down now, because they no longer need Diddy anymore.
So sedated, she didn't even remember, didn't even know she was supposed to even be on a flight. And the crazy thing is, Mary J. Blige said that she was murdered. She said literally, it was a spiritual murder.
So going back to this,
board of directors.
because some of y'all are like, what the hell is all this Black Rock? Bruh, this shit is so freaking deep. Banks are doing all of this. Banks.
When you just so happen to look into who Taylor Swift's father is, it all starts to make a lot of sense. See, I've done a video on Scott Kingsley Swift, right? And he's a very interesting individual, especially considering the fact that he just so happened to be a financial advisor for Merrill Lynch. And Scott Swift and himself was
Merrill Lynch. Merrill freaking Lynch.
Were known to be pretty good friends with somebody named John Thang. And see, Mr. John Alexander Thang was an American financial executive and investment banker. And he was president and co-COO of Goldman Sachs, but also the CEO of the New York Stock Exchange. And Thang then became the last chairman and CEO of Merrill Lynch & Co. before its merger with Bank of America. The history of
Bank of America, Merrill Lynch. Do y'all see this, y'all? So while we sitting around bottom feeding, talking about Diddy, talking about Beyonce, talking about this rapper, talking about that rapper being gay. Oh, he gay, she gay, all these people gay, gay. It's not even about them. It's about banks. It's about freaking banks. It's about banks.
Bank of America is really interesting, by the way. But
Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, PNC Bank, all banks. Banks.
that's something we'll touch upon in another video. Now, it's interesting because John Thang was the CEO of the New York Stock Exchange during
the CEO of the New York Stock Exchange, y'all. John Thang was the CEO of the New York Stock Exchange. We got to think bigger than some damn Diddy.
The 2008 financial collapse. But see, Goldman Sachs was criticized for allegedly misleading its investors and profiting from the collapse of the mortgage market during the 2007 and 2008 financial crisis. This led to investigations from the United States Congress and the United States Department of Justice and a lawsuit from the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, which definitely don't just so happen to have a lot of members that just so happen to be on the Epstein list as well. Yeah, definitely not. You definitely can't find anything on that. But you know what's interesting about Taylor Swift and the reasons why I'm talking about Goldman Sachs and Merrill Lynch? Because right when Taylor Swift's career took off, just like in 2006, BlackRock acquired Merrill Lynch's investment managers division.
BlackRock acquired their what? I want to make sure y'all are getting this now. This is very important. Hit a like button, hit a like button, hit a like button, hit a like button. What's going on, Rita?
Off. Just like in 2006, BlackRock acquired Merrill Lynch's
BlackRock acquired Merrill Lynch's
investment managers division.
Investment managers division. Now, think about this.
Merging the two companies and expanding BlackRock's international and retail presence. But see, Merrill Lynch received a 49.5% stake in the company, while PNC's ownership was halved.
PNC has half.
49.5% of BlackRock, but yet none of Merrill Lynch's associates are on BlackRock's board of directors. And now Taylor Swift's father just so happens to be involved heavily in the music industry as well.
Taylor Swift's father, do y'all see this? Is trickling down.
Well, and do you know how much money that people like her father made during the 2008 financial crisis? Let's just say that multimillionaires became billionaires within just a couple of years. So I'm sure it was a lot easier to hide what was going on behind closed doors. But Taylor Swift and herself is a whole nother rabbit hole that we're not going to dive into right now. But I just want you to know that there's a lot of people in the music industry that definitely know about what was going on. You feel me? And with Taylor Swift, well, let's just say a plant can easily be watered. If you know, you know. And when it comes to money, anybody can be consumed by the industry. And it's funny because people like P. Diddy were those exact individuals. What, you think P. Diddy made all of his money from music? And if you don't think by now that Diddy...
Trafficking. All of this, if you just look up how much money does trafficking make per year, you'll see it's going to say $260 billion. $260 billion per year. It's not about rap. Rappers don't make any money. The executive don't make any money. Nobody makes money off of rap anymore. This is not about rap. This is about what rap attracts. Rap is just the light or the flame that attracts the moths. You know how moths be flying around flames? And every now and then a moth will go into the flame by mistake and die. That is what all of this is about. The rapper is the flame to attract the moths. And every now and then a moth dies. And nobody cares because there's so many moths flying around the flame. But in the real world, the moth doesn't die. The moth gets trafficked. Out of 200 people, maybe 10 people out of those 200 people go missing. I'm quite sure at every Diddy party. And those people get shipped out. That is what this whole thing is about. And the traffickers pay for the people. And next thing you know, the bank makes their money back from signing the rapper legally. That is how it works. Bank pays regular exec pays rapper brings moths to the party. Moths get shipped out because nobody cares about the moths because they're moths, they're degenerates. And the other country pays big dollars for the moths, and the bank makes their money back from the moths, not the rapper. And at some point, the rapper gets killed because they have no need for him, and then they find another rapper.
He was the Epstein of the music industry, then you're truly choosing to be delusional. But see, just like Epstein, there's always figures of higher authority. There's always going to be the puppets that are truly pulling the strings, right? And I'm not going to confirm whether or not Lucian is one of those individuals, but I'm pretty sure it's obvious to figure out for yourself. Now see, Lucian himself, right, he grew up in a what family in North London? And I'm sure that's to no surprise. And see, in 2008 as well, ironically, Grange received the Music Industry Trust Award, which recognizes the world's most successful music executives. And he was also knighted in the 2016 birthday honors for services to British business and inward investment. And in 2016 as well, he was inaugurated to appointment to the Order of the British Empire and Knight Bachelor. So of course, knighted by the Queen, I'm sure that's no surprise. If you don't know of the controversial history of the Queen of England herself, then you really need to get in touch with reality. Because that in itself is a very deep rabbit hole to dive into.
All right, so I got another video that is even crazier. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button.
Combs, a music mogul, is facing.
All right, so we already talked about the lawsuits, right? We're about to go down a rabbit hole of these lawsuits.
To Sean Diddy Combs, a music mogul, is facing a series of new civil lawsuits, including allegations assaulted 2 teenagers. Our senior investigative correspondent, Aaron Kotursky, has the details. Aaron, good morning.
Good morning, Whit. This new batch of civil lawsuits accuses Sean Combs of assaulting 7 more alleged victims. One of them says she was 13 at the time, and certain celebrities were there watching. This morning, a new civil lawsuit alleges Sean Diddy Combs assaulted a then 13-year-old girl after the VMAs in the year 2000. Combs attended the award show with his then-girlfriend, Jennifer Lopez. The lawsuit says Diddy's driver invited the alleged victim to an after-party, telling her Combs liked younger girls and saying she fit what Diddy was looking for. At the party, the lawsuit says the teen accepted a drink and went to lie down, feeling woozy and lightheaded. Combs allegedly grabbed the teen, saying, "You are ready to party." The lawsuit says the teen was sexually assaulted by a male, identified as Celebrity A, while Combs and a female, identified as Celebrity B, watched. Combs then allegedly assaulted her while celebrities A and B watched. The new civil lawsuits accuse Combs of assaults over more than 2 decades, from 2000 to 2022. Alleged victims include a then 17-year-old male who says Combs molested him at a party in New York, and a man who says Combs assaulted him at a party in Los Angeles. The man says he took this photo of the vodka Combs served him to document the alleged encounter. Combs' legal team did not directly respond to the new allegations, but pointed ABC News to a prior statement that says the truth will prevail, that Mr. Combs has never assaulted anyone, adult or minor, man or woman.
And overnight, attorneys for Combs also asked the judge overseeing his criminal prosecution to silence the plaintiffs in these civil lawsuits.
Diddy slapped with a flood of new lawsuits citing other celebrities. It was 5 new lawsuits that were filed. One of them, the victim was 13 years old at the time, and it was in 2020. She said there was a celebrity couple along with Diddy. The male ripped off her clothes and allegedly raped her. Woman participated as well, and Diddy raped her as well. Now, of course, it doesn't say who this celebrity couple was or is. I noticed a lot of people are saying, do you think it was Jay-Z and Beyoncé? Now, this particular incident.
And there's more celebrity couples than Jay-Z and Beyonce. Like, I'm just getting tired of everybody talking about Jay-Z and Beyonce. It's so many people doing these things. It's not just Jay-Z and Beyonce. Like, we got to get past this Jay-Z. It's like having this obsession with Jay-Z and Beyonce. Why?
It was alleged to happen in 2020. I believe Jay-Z and Beyonce got together in 2021 or 2022. I'm pretty sure 2021. So I don't believe that this is them. Now, at this point, either you're going to stand up for what's right, get justice for yourself and other victims, or just say it's about the money. And Tony Busby, as an attorney, you need to do better, because this is shameful. You come up on here like a used car salesman. You want to make a buck. These celebrities need to be held accountable, not just Diddy, all of them. Okay?
But do y'all see? I want to talk about this real quick. Black people, women in particular, get so excited to see a black person go down and lose all their money and lose all their riches. All these celebrities need to go down. Why? Because they're black. Now, do I think these celebrities need to go down? Yes. But I want the executives to go down. I want the banks to go down. They're not black. The people that is controlling all this stuff, they're not black. So even if Jay-Z did go down, nothing is going to change, because Lucian Grange is still there. Lucian Grange's son, Elliot Grange, is still there. The tall Israeli is still there. When are we going to wake up and stop witch hunting celebrities? Why? Celebrities are like ants. They're everywhere. I just played a video of The Rock talking about playing with his butt. Like, what's the point of trying to take down celebrities when you can bring up another celebrity and put them in their place? Listen to this shit about The Rock.
Been hit with 7 new.
All y'all care about is bringing down celebrities. Why? Because they're black. What about the other ones? They're all over the place. They all are trash.
Himself, because Taylor was kind of aloof and not part of the club, he was allegedly saving her.
It was an
Listen to this. The Rock, they got him.
adult party. Well, with tequila, I do this thing where I can pick up a grape. Not with my hands, not my feet, not in my mouth.
Fucking dye in that beard than Diddy wear.
All right, that's enough.
I know.
That's enough.
I seen him. He shows me behind the curtain.
That's a fucking enough. All right, I'm gonna edit. I'm gonna edit this out.
But still,
Put a fucking
put a note on it. You can edit that one. I don't.
Who was in
So the thing about it is, it's not about these celebrities. We got to stop wanting to witch hunt celebrities, because all it is some stupid gossip. It doesn't freaking matter.
About money. Now, at this point, either you're going to stand up for what's right, get justice for yourself and other victims, or just say it's about the money. And
Okay, it is about the money. What are you talking about, ma'am?
Tony Busby, as an attorney, you need to do better, because this is shameful. You come up on here like a used car salesman. You want to make a buck. These celebrities need to be held accountable.
Why? Do y'all understand what I'm saying? It's like all we care about is seeing the gossip of a celebrity going to jail or filing for bankruptcy or losing all their damn money. All they're going to do is replace the person with another damn celebrity. The shit is just stupid if you just think about it. And it just shows how dumb we are.
Not just Diddy, all of them. Okay? These behaviors are heinous. And until we start collectively holding them accountable. Now, I notice a lot of people are also asking, well, can this be used in a federal case? I think when it comes to the minors, we're going to see more of that come out, because I think Diddy's defense is going to say, well, these people voluntarily came to a Diddy party and they wanted to have fun and they had fun. So it's going to be basically him saying, well, they consented to this. But a minor can't consent to that type of activity or consent to anything for that matter. So I think that that is going to be the stance why this may be brought up or used in the federal case. We're just going to have to see what happens. But I hope it is, because I feel like these other celebrities need to be exposed, because clearly Busby is not worried about exposure and not worried about bringing real justice about $1. And I said what I said. You could take it for whatever way you want to take it.
There is a new Diddy lawsuit that I'm going to have trouble talking about on here, mainly because it's so graphic. I not only have to give you several trigger warnings, I need to watch the way in which I say things. Because frankly, I think if I say certain things that are in this lawsuit, this video will get taken down. I don't think there's going to be any way for me to make this video less than 10 minutes long. And this is the trigger warning that I'm going to give you. On the literal lawsuit documents that are 63 pages long, it says this document contains highly graphic information of a sexual nature, including allegations of rape, assault, battery, kidnapping, and
Yeah. We already know that.
Wanted to give her a ride in his new car. They left the residence. Wanted to give her.
Okay, so this is the same story Lauren the lawyer was talking about. So I'm gonna play a little bit so you'll be familiarized with it. But this woman is going to talk about part 2 of it, which is actually crazy. So you may say, hey, the black girl already talked about this. Why are you playing this? 1, some people didn't hear it. And then 2, we're gonna play part 2 because she has part 2. So if you heard this story before, I get it, but we're playing part 2 along with part 1. And some people need part 1 to get an understanding of part 2. So just want to give y'all context.
People. However, Ashley says she was not impressed. And she said that she thought that Diddy had something to do with Tupac's passing. Diddy heard her say this and said she would pay for her statement regarding Tupac and Diddy. Fast forward to March 23rd of 2018. Shane invited Ashley over to his home to assist him with cancer medications because he stated he was weak and unable to open them. When Ashley got there, Shane said that he wanted to give her a ride in his new car. They left the residence for a brief period and then returned. When they returned, she noticed that Shane left the door to his apartment partially open. And he said that there was an issue with the door where it couldn't close completely. He was renting an apartment below a woman, and she had 2 dogs residing with her. Ashley and Shane then began to watch a movie. Shane offered her a glass of water, and this is where shit starts to get serious. Then Diddy shows up at Shane's residence, and he entered the home in a ready-to-party manner. His grandiose entrance was so loud that the dogs upstairs started barking. Along with Diddy was his bodyguard, which is considered Doe 1, Christina Quorum, who is referred to as KK, a woman she was unable to identify, who is referred to as Jane Doe, Doe 2, who is believed to be a friend of Shane and Diddy's driver, who is Doe 3. And this person remained outside the entire time. Ashley believes that Shane invited her over to set her up because of the statement she made a month prior. When Diddy arrived, he immediately began to antagonize Ashley, saying she thought she would never see him in person and pay for her statements about Tupac during the video call. Ashley was in fact in shock because she did never think that she was going to see Diddy in person. Diddy began advancing towards Ashley where she was sitting on Shane's bed. He had a knife, held it to the right side of Ashley's face, and threatened to give her a Glasgow smile. Christina Quorum then told Diddy that she did not think giving Ashley a Glasgow smile would be advantageous to their potential clients who they could sell Ashley for SEX2. Christina Quorum then made a threat to Ashley that she could ship her off to anywhere in the world and that she would never see her family or anybody that she knew ever again. Shane then partially undressed Ashley. Then Diddy removed the remainder of Ashley's clothing.
KK is Christina Quorum, and she's either in the room already or about to walk out of the room or walk in the room.
Then retrieved a large bottle of liquid from his fanny pack. Diddy then squirted the whole bottle of liquid on Ashley, and it placed her in a fear, thinking that she was being squirted with some kind of chemical substance like acid. She then realized it was some kind of oil or lubricant, and it was sprayed on her entire nude body. Christina Quorum was then told by Diddy to insert...
Christina Quorum is KK, and let me show y'all who KK actually is real quick. I think she is on here. Yes. So you have Lucian Grange, you have Ethiopia, and then there's Christina. So this is Christina Quorum right here. All right. Christina Quorum is, there's Justin Cohen. I don't know who this person is. So just so y'all know, so when you look at the entire diagram, Christina Quorum is, so you got Lucian Grange, Ethiopia, then Sean Combs, and then you see over here KK, which is Christina Quorum. She runs everybody over here. So she is his left-hand man, and Ethiopia is his right-hand man. So that's who Christina Quorum actually is. Just so y'all can understand who these people are. That's who KK is.
Liquid from his fanny pack. Diddy then squirted the whole bottle of liquid on Ashley, and it placed her in a fear, thinking that she was being squirted with some kind of chemical substance like acid. She then realized it was some kind of oil or lubricant, and it was sprayed on her entire nude body. Christina Quorum was then told by Diddy to insert what looked like a syringe from sterile packaging into Ashley's private area. Christina told Diddy that she was going to be unable to use the IUD because it had prematurely been released from its packaging. Diddy was upset by this, took the syringe from Christina and tried inserting it into Ashley's privates. Christina and Diddy then began to argue. She was basically trying to tell him that it wasn't going to work, and he finally took her advice. Christina and Jane Doe then exited Shane's residence, leaving Ashley alone with Diddy, Shane, and Doe's 1 and 2. Diddy then picked up a television remote, told Ashley that her life was in his hands and that if he wanted to, he could take her and she would never be seen again. Ashley then began hysterically crying from the threats by Diddy, along with the pain of being by Diddy with the TV remote, as well as the lingering pain from the ordeal with the IUD syringe. Diddy then instructed Shane to turn Ashley on her stomach because he didn't want to hear Ashley's cries. Shane grabbed Ashley by her abdomen and hips and turned Ashley on her stomach. Shane then grabbed Ashley by her abdomen and hips and turned her on her stomach. Diddy then instructed...
Make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to hit the like button. 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 Everybody hit the like button.
Instructed Shane to put a pillow over her head because he didn't want to see her face or hear her cries. He then instructed Shane to behind, and Shane did it. Then Diddy proceeded to do the same thing to her. Immediately after, Doe 2 exited the residence. Diddy then instructed Doe 1 to continue doing that to Ashley. Instead of immediately doing that to Ashley, Doe 1 doused Ashley with more oil lubricant and then jumped on top of Ashley's body, treating it like a slip and slide, knocking the wind out of her due to his enormous size. Doe 1 then caught himself from sliding over Ashley's body off the bed and then began. While Doe 1 was doing this to Ashley, Diddy sat in a chair near the bed and then was touching himself while recording what was going on. Someone's phone fell on the bed near Ashley. Ashley attempted to grab the phone and it naturally slipped out of her hands and onto the floor due to the oil and lubricant that had been doused all over everything. Diddy was laughing at her. During this entire ordeal, Diddy was making constant belittling remarks to Ashley, including the fact that he owned her now. Ashley's body was becoming more and more limp over the course of this violence until eventually she had no control over her body, nor could she move. When everybody was done with Ashley, Christina entered the room to examine the condition of Ashley, who was barely able to move or control her bodily functions.
Okay.
Christina examined Ashley to see if she needed assistance and was about to give Ashley IV fluids. Ashley doesn't know if she was actually given those IV fluids. Christina then opened a different bag, different than the one Diddy removed the oil from, and Ashley observed several medicine bottles, IV fluid bags, and other unidentifiable powder-like drugs. Christina then took a pill out of one of the medicine bottles and gave it to Diddy. Diddy then inserted the pill into Ashley's mouth and down her throat to where Ashley had no choice but to ingest this pill. Diddy, Shane, Christina, and Doe 1 then exited the residence into the backyard where they smoked. Ashley remained in a almost lifeless state in Shane's bedroom until she finally regained her bodily functions. She tried looking for her belongings, could not find them, and found a t-shirt on the floor which she put over her body. She then grabbed a knife from the kitchen and headed to the backyard where they all were. That was the only way to exit the building onto the street. When she got out into the backyard, she was met by Doe 1, who was standing at the door between the residence and the backyard. Doe 1 allowed her into the backyard where Shane and Diddy were there. Nobody saw the knife that she had. She sat down on a makeshift seat in the backyard, and Diddy noticed her presence and remarked that he was surprised she was able to walk because he had given her enough drugs to take out a horse. Ashley asked Diddy, "What did you give me?" and he didn't give her a response. Diddy then made further comments to Ashley in a jovial, friendly manner, asking her why they hadn't partied together before because it was so much fun and he hadn't had an ass that tight in a while. She then began to tell Diddy that she did not party with him and she did not enjoy what happened. Diddy did not like Ashley's response to his lighthearted commentary and offered Ashley money, instructed her to say that the violence was consensual and that she was an SEX worker. Ashley became enraged and yelled at Diddy and that she was not an SEX worker and she refused to take money from him and that she was going to tell the police. There's going to have to be a part 2. We left off on Ashley telling Diddy that she was going to tell the police. Diddy then tells Ashley that no one would ever believe what happened, and if she did tell anybody, they would harm her family. Doe 1 then showed Ashley his phone, and on that phone, it looked like somebody was outside of her sister's residence, and she could see her sister sitting on the couch and her sister's spouse on the balcony. Somebody was outside her house live streaming this to Doe 1's phone. Ashley was not complying with Diddy's request to take the money that he was offering her. Diddy then decides that the appropriate response would be to call his mother. Diddy's mother yelled at Ashley to not hurt her son. Ashley told Diddy's mother that her son had violently, and Diddy's mother, seemingly unfazed by the statement, then continued her demands with Ashley to take the money being offered and to not report what happened. Diddy continued to make threats, saying that he had gotten off from bigger crimes than this, and referred to Tupac again, further antagonizing Ashley. Doe 1 then turned to Diddy and pulled a gun on him, asking him to repeat what he just said in reference to Tupac. The two of them started to exchange words, and Ashley went behind Doe 1, where he seemingly began to protect Ashley. During this commotion, the neighbor directly across the street came outside and peered into the backyard and asked what all the commotion was about. Then Doe 1 pointed.
Hold on. Quick commercial break. We'll be right back. Quick commercial break. We'll be right back because this is getting good.
Meet up at a coffee shop. Hey, how about we meet up at a coffee shop and play this fun dating card game? We'll have fun and see if we're compatible all at the same time.
Ooh, what's the name of the game?
It's called Deeper Discussions.
I'm down.
Okay, meet you at 6.
Fellas, buy this card game. Ladies, buy this card game. Buy about 2 or 3 card games. The main reason why people can't stay together isn't because they don't like each other no more. It's actually because their present family issues come up or their past family issues come up. But when you play Deeper Discussions, you'll be able to understand a person's family issues up front.
This game can be played with either 2 people or an entire group. So have fun.
Question number 1. Name a time when money was the main factor why a relationship went bad.
Deeper Discussions Dating Edition. Again, these cards are good for vetting a potential boyfriend, a potential girlfriend, a potential husband, a potential wife. The texture of these cards are so soft and silky, by the way. Like
they ain't gonna get
really
wore out.
Durable.
A dating card game for introverts who have a hard time asking the much needed compatibility questions. Deeper Discussions, the card game.
UN at the neighbor.
And back it up so y'all won't be confused. So she runs out the house.
Ashley was not complying with Diddy's request to take the money that he was offering her. Diddy then decides that the appropriate response would be to call his mother. Diddy's mother yelled at Ashley to not hurt her son. Ashley told Diddy's mother that her son had violently, and Diddy's mother, seemingly unfazed by the statement, then continued her demands with.
See, Diddy's mother is around when Diddy is doing all these crazy things, and she literally was like, "Ma'am, do you see what your son is doing?" And she's like, "Why don't you just take the money and go away?" Diddy's mother is a part of this also.
Ashley to take the money being offered and to not report what happened. Diddy continued to make threats, saying that he had gotten off from bigger crimes than this, and referred to Tupac again, further antagonizing Ashley. Doe 1 then turned to Diddy and pulled a gun on him, asking him to repeat what he just said in reference to Tupac. The two of them started to exchange words, and Ashley went behind Doe 1, where he seemingly began to protect Ashley. During this commotion, the neighbor directly across the street came outside and peered into the backyard and asked what all the commotion was about. Then Doe 1 pointed the gun at the neighbor and instructed him to mind his own business and get back in his house. Doe 1 then turned the gun back on Diddy. Ashley was not far behind Doe 1 and tried to grab Doe 1's hand that had the gun. The GUN went off and hit a hill behind Shane's residence. Diddy then ran up the stairs near the hill in the backyard towards where Christina, Shane, and Jane Doe were. Ashley charged towards Diddy, moving the concealed knife from her left hand to her right hand in pursuit of Diddy. Ashley then pushed Diddy from behind while on the stone stairs outside, causing him to fall with his back to her. Ashley then raised the knife in a rage from the events that had just transpired and with the intent of driving the knife into Diddy's back when he turned around and began pleading for his life. Ashley, shocked now to see Diddy acting as a victim, had a moment of clarity and then turned and ran back down the staircase out to the backyard to escape. Diddy then chased Ashley down the stairs and attempted to push her, but she was already at the bottom of the stairs, gained her footing, and wielded the knife at Diddy, grazing his abdomen. Christina and Jane Doe emerged, and Christina began administering first aid to Diddy for the injuries caused by Ashley. Ashley tried to make a quick dash for the exit, but was thwarted by Doe 1. After a period of time, Ashley was able to abscond from Doe 1 due to the first aid commotion with Diddy and was able to run down the street. Once Ashley made it on the street, she began yelling loudly for somebody to call the police. Doe 1, who had now caught up with Ashley, advised Ashley that he was an undercover cop. Till this day, Ashley does not know if that was true or false. The same neighbor then emerged from his residence asking what was transpiring. Just as Ashley was attempting to answer, GUN shots began being fired in Ashley's direction. The neighbor and Ashley began to take cover and lost sight of Doe 1. Ashley then heard an SUV screeching away and speeding away from the residence. Ashley then entered the home of the neighbor, who informed her that he had already called the police. Ashley told the neighbor that it was Sean Combs and shot at them, but the neighbor was unaware of who Diddy was. Shortly thereafter, a sheriff from the Contra Costa Sheriff's Department arrived at the neighbor's home. Ashley told the sheriff what happened and that she did not have her clothes, phone, purse, or car keys or cell phone. The sheriff told Ashley and the neighbor that they had received several noise complaints prior to the neighbor's call and instructed Ashley to find a way to get home. The sheriff did not offer to take Ashley home. He didn't call emergency services, any kind of ambulance, did not take her to the hospital, and did not offer her any help to recover her clothes or her belongings from Shane's residence. The neighbor offered to let Ashley sleep on the couch until she could figure out a way to get her possessions and get home, but Ashley declined and only remained at the neighbor's residence for a short period of time once the sheriff left. Ashley then went back to Shane's residence, where she found the door open and her clothes were readily accessible in his residence. Shane then emerged as if nothing happened and offered Ashley to stay at his residence while she slept it off. Ashley asked for her purse and her keys, but Shane told her that she shouldn't leave in that condition. Ashley, catatonic and in a state of shock and disbelief from the events that just transpired, stayed at Shane's house. Shane left the house. Later that morning, Shane returned to the residence and woke Ashley up and finally gave her back her purse, cell phone, and keys. And then Ashley left. She returned back to her house and tried to figure out what just happened. On March 26th, she contacted her primary care doctor and asked for basically STD testing, because she was worried she contracted a disease from this. She tried to continue with her life the best she could because she knew that the sheriff's office already didn't believe her. And she was also under the impression if she did continue to say Diddy's name in relation to her assault, she would not be believed and her family would be in danger. Seemingly mere days, maybe even the day after Ashley's vicious attack, Shane had miraculously began driving a new car. Ashley believes this was payment by Diddy for setting up the Ashley. A few weeks later, Ashley was still in pain and reeling from the assault. She went to the hospital for her injuries. They had not subsided from what happened. Ultrasound and x-rays. She was given IV fluids to stabilize her vitals as she was in a severe weakened state from being unable to eat, and she lost a substantial amount of weight. While at the hospital, Ashley told members of her treatment team about her horrific assault, and then they contacted the Walnut Creek police. The police showed up to Ashley's hospital room and took a statement regarding her assault on March.
Shane is the guy that set the girl up in the beginning. Shane is the guy that set the girl up in the beginning. Make sure to hit the like button if you have not hit the like button.
March 23rd. Ashley declined to refer to Diddy to the Walnut Creek police because she believed she would be ignored by the Walnut Creek police, just as she was by the Contra Costa County Sheriff, and she was afraid of being further harmed by Diddy. She believes that both her encounters by the police were caught on body cam footage. Ashley also filed a police report to the Orinda Police Department on April 17, 2018, but again was afraid to tell that Diddy was one of the assailants. During the report, Ashley provided her clothing to the police from the night of the assault, but they only retained her underwear. To date, the underwear was never returned, and Ashley believes no investigation ever happened. Ashley sought assistance from therapists in May 2018, one of which tried to have her therapy appointments covered by a victim's compensation fund, which was rejected because Ashley was told no law enforcement agency had opened an active investigation into any of her reports of what happened. Ashley asked
So all of this going to the police helped her in no kind of way at all. Sad.
police for a copy of the report from the Walnut Creek Police Department. On July 19, 2018, Ashley was provided a letter from the Walnut Creek Police Department stating they were unable to furnish the information as is confidential and not subject to public release, despite Ashley not being the public, and she was the one who made the complaint. In March 2024, when all of these things came to light about Diddy, she decided to call the Contra Costa Sheriff's Department again in renewing her previous complaint and amending it to ensure that Diddy's name was included. She received no response from the sheriff. In July of 2024, she emailed the chief of the sheriff's office regarding her complaint, lack of investigation, and how she was treated by the initial responding officer. Ashley then received a call back from a detective, but nothing further. Then she began seeking legal counsel. The counsel also attempted to get a copy of the 2018 police report from the Contra Costa Sheriffs, but was told that they would not provide the report or any other information without a subpoena. There is so much more than this. We read from pages 6 to 24. There are 62 pages. This is not shocking. I know it probably gets way worse than this, but this is the most graphic lawsuit we have seen yet. I know far more is going to come out, but this one was insane.
I want to drill this part in y'all heads because it's so important.
Billionaires within just a couple of years. So I'm sure it was a lot easier to hide what was going on behind closed doors. But Taylor Swift and herself is a whole nother rabbit hole that we're not going to dive into right now. But I just want you to know that there's a lot of people in the music industry that definitely know about what was going on, you feel me? And with Taylor Swift, well, let's just say a plant can easily be watered. If you know, you know. And when it comes to money, anybody can be consumed by the industry. And it's funny because people like P. Diddy were those exact individuals. What, you think P. Diddy made all of his money from music? And if you don't think by now that Diddy was the Epstein of the music industry, then you're truly choosing to be delusional. But see, just like Epstein, there's always figures of higher authority. There's always going to be the puppets that are truly pulling the strings, right? And I'm not going to confirm whether or not Lucian is one of those individuals, but I'm pretty sure it's obvious to figure out for yourself. Now see, Lucian himself, right, he grew up in a what family in North London? And I'm sure that's to no surprise. And see, in 2008 as well, ironically, Grange received the Music Industry Trust Award, which recognizes the world's most successful music executives. And he was also knighted in the 2016 birthday honors for services to British business and inward investment. And in 2016 as well, he was inaugurated to appointment to the Order of the British Empire and Knight Bachelor. So of course, knighted by the Queen, I'm sure that's no surprise. If you don't know of the controversial history of the Queen of England herself, then you really need to get in touch with reality. Because that in itself is a very deep rabbit hole to dive into. And if anybody would like me to do that in the future, I gladly will. But see, Lucian in himself is also just taking a step up that ladder. And once you continue to go up that ladder, there's no coming back down. Especially not when you just so happen to get to individuals like Leor Cohen. Gotta love that hand sign right there, right? See, this Leor Cohen right here, which just so happens to be ironically standing right next to Diddy. Now see, Leor Cohen and Lucian Grange in real life are pretty damn good friends. Primarily because UMG, aka Universal Music, which Lucian Grange just so happens to be the CEO of, is a big partner of YouTube and YouTube Music. And Leor Cohen is obviously the global head of music at Google and YouTube. So do know, it's eventually all connected, okay? But see, Cohen joined Google at the end of 2016, right? And he previously acted as CEO of 300 Entertainment, which he co-founded. Which definitely, wink wink, isn't directly connected to the Queen or anything. We'll do another video on that eventually. But as of right now, I want to primarily talk about Leor Cohen, okay? See, Cohen worked on the label side of the music industry, like it says here, at companies including Warner Music, we'll get to them here in a second, Def Jam, Island Def Jam, and of course 300 Entertainment, like I mentioned. And see, during that time, right, Def Jam was under Polygram and Universal. During Cohen's time at Def Jam, right, he worked with a brand new roster of successful rappers like Redman, Method Man, Jay-Z, we'll get to that eventually in another video, DMX, Ja Rule, and Ludacris himself. Cohen also oversaw custom label deals with Rockefeller Records, Murder Inc., Disturbing the Peace, and others. But in 1998, when he just so happened to leave Def Jam, right, Polygram was purchased by Seagram and merged into Universal. And see, during that time, a special little somebody had a pretty good relationship. But see, Leroy Cohen himself, during his time in the music industry, was the victim of a lot of allegations as well, including a couple from John Homestead, a retired CIA agent, which a couple of years ago admitted.
CIA. We're talking about the CIA, Bank of America, PNC Bank, BlackRock, Warner Music Group, Universal Music Group, Google,
on national Russian television, allegedly saying that the CIA was supposedly behind the creation of the 1980s hip-hop scene and financed major hip-hop acts, including NWA and other acts as well, stating that allegedly the government at the time spent big money, serious money on this covert operation destined to further division and corrupt the American youth to nihilist anti-establishment and anti-American ideologies. Back in 2000, when you just so happened to look for Merrill Lynch and Scott Swift.
There you go, Merrill Lynch. I was looking for the names. Merrill Lynch.
And himself was renowned to be pretty good friends with somebody named John Thane. And see, Mr. John Alexander Thane was an American financial executive and investment banker. And he was president and co-COO of Goldman Sachs, but also the CEO of the New York Stock Exchange. And
all right, that's what I'm looking for, Goldman Sachs. Y'all see this, right?
Thane then became the last chairman and CEO of Merrill Lynch & Co. before its merger with Bank of America. The history of Bank
of America
is really interesting, by the way. But that's something we'll touch upon in another video. Now, it's interesting because John Thane was the CEO of the New York Stock Exchange during the 2008 financial collapse. But see, Goldman Sachs was criticized for allegedly misleading its investors and profiting from the collapse of the mortgage market during the 2007 and 2008 financial crisis. This led to investigations from the United States Congress and the United States Department of Justice and a lawsuit from the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, which definitely don't just so happen to have a lot of members that just so happen to be on the Epstein list as well. Yeah, definitely not. You definitely can't find anything on that. But you know what's interesting about Taylor Swift and the reasons why I'm talking about Goldman Sachs and Merrill Lynch? Because right when Taylor Swift's career took off, just like in 2006, BlackRock acquired Merrill Lynch's investment managers division, merging the two companies and expanding BlackRock's international and retail presence. But see, Merrill Lynch received a 49.5% stake in the company, while PNC's ownership was halved. 49.5% of BlackRock, but yet none of Merrill Lynch's associates are on BlackRock's board of directors. And now Taylor Swift's father just so happens to be involved heavily in the music industry as well. And do you know how much money that people like her father made during the 2008 financial crisis? Let's just say that multimillionaires became billionaires within just a couple of years. So I'm sure it was a lot easier to hide what was going on behind closed doors. But Taylor Swift and herself is a whole nother rabbit hole that we're not going to dive into right now. But I just want you to know that there's a lot of people in the music industry that definitely know about what was going on. You feel me? And with Taylor Swift, well, let's just say a plant.
All right, so as y'all see, this is bigger than Diddy. This is about the CIA. Diddy's father worked with the CIA. I'll say it again. Diddy's father worked with the CIA. The reason why Diddy's father was murked is because the people in New York found out that he was a legal informant. Diddy's father died, and then Diddy's mother took over the business and still had the CIA backing her. She had a daughter along with Diddy, which she just absconded, and nobody knows where the hell she is. And it might be a good reason why nobody knows where she is, because hopefully she's safe because she's not around. But altogether, Diddy's mom started working with Clive Davis. And Clive Davis, if you don't know, Clive Davis is actually the owner of Bad Boy Music, not Diddy. Clive Davis owns Bad Boy Music. So you got three particular people. You have Clive Davis, John Fane, Leo Cohen, Lucian Grange, another one, Elliot Grange, which is Lucian Grange's son. So let me say that again. You have Lucian Grange, Elliot Grange, Leo Cohen, Clive Davis, and John Fane. These are the people that are behind, the individuals that are behind all of this. The entities that are behind all of this, and you see I'm not talking about Diddy because it's way bigger than Diddy, is the CIA, is PNC Bank, it is Bank of America, BlackRock, Goldman Sachs, and of course, the Rothschilds. While y'all are running around whining about Jay-Z being next, all these people and entities are going to do is simply replace those people with somebody else. Somebody in this chat watching, or somebody watching right now, may know how to sing or may know how to rap. And some of y'all would love the opportunity to do what Diddy did, maybe at a lower degree, but some of you would love to do what Diddy did, would love to have what Diddy had, would love to reign for 30 years until getting caught. Why? Because we want to be loved, we want to be liked, we want to be famous, and you want people to love you. And whoever can give you that ability to be loved by millions of people, you'll take it at the expense of innocent people's lives and livelihood. And this is the reason why I do not just focus on Diddy in particular. I always go down a rabbit hole because Diddy is simply a figurehead. He is simply a conduit for the actual problem, which is trafficking. All of this is about trafficking and not Diddy. Let's keep going. Hit a like button, hit a like button, hit a like button, hit a like button, hit a like button.
Benjamin, as we see. Oh, yes, he's glittering.
As you can see right here, Mike Tyson was even afraid of Diddy. Mike Tyson was even scared of Diddy.
It truly is about the Benjamin, as we see. Oh, yes, he's glittering. It truly is about the Benjamin. Well, now, when we come back, we're going to talk more with Puffy, and if you want to hang out, more than welcome to stick around, my brother. All right? We'll be right back with more right after this.
Certain people sign up to get fucked. Certain people, if you're going to keep it real, certain people sign up to do the job of paying their rent that way. Right. You know, I didn't sign up for that. I felt like my talent was enough. Not putting anyone's business out because, you know, what you do in your personal bed is whatever you do.
What are some things that you...
And I think it's kind of hilarious how the guy said, I think my talent is enough. You don't have any talent. You only have backing. None of these people have actual talent. They have sponsors. They have backing. None of these people would have been famous if it wasn't for the Universal Music Groups, the Clive Davises of the world, the Lear Cohens of the world, because nobody would have ever heard them. These distribution companies, which really are banks, are the reason why any of these people are famous.
Feel like I should look out for.
Stay away from the take that mansion. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, stay away from that. All right. Second, they're laughing because they know it's true.
Complaint goes on to claim Diddy has hidden cameras in every room of his homes, and that there are recordings of celebrities, music label executives, politicians, and athletes in compromising positions.
I've been to the parties, but like I said, they select you, fit a certain description. You have to fit a certain mannerism for you to be led down that hallway with the door. The way they attack you is through photo shoots and video shoots. They send in the stylists. If you're getting your hair braided, if you're showing them the most love and yippity yappity with them, that's where they see, oh, he had a lot of rap for the guy. Right. He's one of
all right. Be pistol fucked up in your ass hurt, up in your ass hurt, up in your ass hurt. You don't know what the fuck to say. You don't know who to tell. Here it is, the time for a contract to come out. Nigga want to sign you for 5 years. You like, nah, dog. So you don't want to sign with us? Nah, man, pop in the tape. Show this nigga what he did last night. You sitting that motherfucker like, man, what the fuck? Yeah, well, what the fuck? That's what happened. You got fucked. You want to sign that contract. You don't want nobody in the hood to see that shit. These niggas that you see constantly hot, they're not getting hot because they like to get hot. They're getting hot because they know what they done done.
Thank you, Lucy Nichols, becoming a new member. Thank you so much.
He had put everybody else out the crib. Like the influx of people he had put them out. Took a liking to me in particular around the time, man. It was really, you know what I mean? Like putting his arm around me. Right. So he had put majority of the people out, but he allowed me to stay in there.
Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, Dad.
I don't know if this background music is a problem. So yeah, oh, here we go.
Get a tattoo of Tupac's skull.
Man, you doing it, Daddy.
Why would Diddy get a tattoo of Tupac's skull over his heart? Why would Diddy get a tattoo of Tupac's skull over his heart?
All the people in the industry know at one time Pac and Puff was like this. But Puff had an obsession with him for whatever reason it was. Puff and Tupac was like a couple, seemed like to me. Whatever they may have done, and you gotta remember, they was all swingers. It came to the point where him and Pac wasn't cool no more at all.
Here's Combs and Tupac at Sean Combs' birthday party. This is the last time the two would be seen in public together. Something happened between them that night that ended their relationship. Did Tupac break up with Diddy on Diddy's birthday? Well, less than a month later, Tupac would be shot by Puffy's associate. Insiders have speculated that the East Coast-West Coast rivalry was a lover's quarrel gone awry. This tattoo over Diddy's heart confirms exactly that.
Beyonce is possessed or is a demon and she be
something about you.
And word is Beyonce is possessed or is a demon and she be climbing on roofs and windows and
Not roofs and windows.
Over mine. If it's what you truly want, I can wear her skin over mine.
This is when Beyoncé made the decision to take over Aaliyah's life. Aaliyah passed away.
Her scalp.
And all of a sudden, Beyoncé became
her sternum. My bedazzled cane. We can pose for a photograph. All three of us. Immortalized. You and your perfect girl. I don't know when love became elusive. What I know is no one I know has it. My father's arms around my mother's neck. Fruit too ripe to eat.
And somebody
I think
said
of
something
lovers
about
as trees. Growing to and from one another. Searching for the same light. Why can't you see me? Why can't you see me? Why can't you see me?
this shit is crazy. So somebody said something about Tupac. I got this as proof.
Chris and Pac were about to start their own label. Sean slammed his fist against the table, shouting, "Doesn't anyone have any fucking loyalty?" On top of that, this nigga is making that move, and it should have been with me.
To sign with his record label, Rockefeller.
Guess he won't be leaving with that nigga to do their own label now. If he leaves, he takes all the money I invested into creating him. Sean sighs. But if he can't protect himself and something terrible does happen, then the money I would make off his death would blow away all the money we made so far. Sean, are you saying what I think you're saying? Sean continued, "It's taxing on my resources to protect people. Someone that isn't 100% on my team can't get 100% of my protection. So to be clear, if something happened," XX made quotation marks with his fingers, "to one of your artists that was leaving your label anyway, it wouldn't be considered out of your control." Wait a minute, can they be talking about Biggie? Is Sean saying he won't protect Biggie? At this point, I was too young, too naive, too hungover to understand that this was not a lack of protection. This was a hit. This was a hit. We gotta have a party. His excitement was contagious. I was getting really excited too. Yes, a gender reveal. And he cut me off. Yes, of course, we're doing all of that. But
And real quick, I just dropped a link in the chat that says join Let Go Mafia. We're having our first Zoom call this evening at 8 o'clock. We're having our first Zoom call this evening at 8 o'clock. If you have not already joined Let Go Mafia, make sure to click the link so you can be a part of this Zoom call. You'll literally have access to me all day, or even in the evening, because we're going to have an Instagram group chat where everybody is going to be able to share content, share ideas, ask random questions, whether it's about how to grow on social media, whether it's about relationships, whether it's about dating, whether it's about all this Tupac, Biggie stuff. Whatever it is you want to discuss and have a conversation about is going to be in Let Go Mafia. So make sure to click the link. It's only $20 a month. And we're having our first Zoom call this evening at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. Do y'all see the link in the chat? Click the link to make sure it works. Do y'all see the link in the chat?
everyone is going to want to sleep with you right before you give birth. My heart sank in my chest. Everybody is going to want to what? Everybody. You know, Will, Jada, XXX. Sean, I'm having your baby. He verbally waved me off. I was going to be gang banged at 9 months pregnant. Oh my God.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. We can't make this up. When I met Tupac, Sean and I had an open relationship. And yes, I slept with Pac. Shit, he was sexy. Sean didn't mind. Well, not until he tried to get Pac to join both of us.
Oh.
Pac was not good with that. This is where the relationship between them became strained. We were all in Sean's house. I was drinking. My baby's bad, isn't she? Pac threw me a sly smile. Hell yeah. You think you hit it better than me? I couldn't believe he disrespected me that way. Sean, what the fuck? Pac came to my defense. Damn, bro, you ain't got to do the sister that way. Tupac appeared upset behind Sean's words. I think my dick's bigger than yours. I bet I can make her come faster than you. What's up? Pac was appalled. What the fuck you talking about, nigga? I ain't trying to run no fucking train. Sean continued. What you scared of? Let's see who fucks better. Let her be the judge. Let's see who fucks better. Let her be the judge. I wasn't the only one upset. Pac shouted, Nigga, you talking about pulling your fucking dick out? Sean was undaunted. What, you scared? Tupac simply left. Things were contentious since then. The two would not be in the same room. Pac avoided me as much as he did Sean. Months passed with only the tension between them. I walked into Sean's office. He was having the conversation. Sean sat across from Jimmy Henchman. Everybody know who Jimmy Henchman is?
And did I mention, promise to pay?
Caught that just in time. Give it a second.
Don't leave that fucking studio alive. I don't think I was supposed to hear it. If he just put a hit out on Tupac, Tupac didn't do well. He lost a testicle, but he survived. The last sentence of this chapter is, it was orchestrated, and Sean Puffy Combs was the orchestrator. Everyone is going to want to sleep with you right before you give birth. Oh my God.
What?
Yeah. My heart sank in my chest. Everybody is going to want to what? Well,
thank you, Melissa, for the super sticker.
Everybody, you know, Will, Jada, XXX, Sean, I'm having your baby. He verbally waved me off. This is the kind of thing I have to do in order to continue giving you this comfortable lifestyle. I was going to be gang banged at 9 months pregnant. I was going to be gang banged at 9 months pregnant. I never had any bad vibe from the marvelous Faith Evans. We never talked about the wild time the three of us shared at one of Sean's parties. I gave her a hug. Hey girl, what's up? She addressed Sean saying, look, when you asked me to hook up with Chris, I understood. I understood you needed to control him. I felt honored that you would choose me to monitor one of your most valuable assets. I knew you would be good. Make the man feel loved. I don't feel good about all this, Sean. You know I'm as loyal as they come. But Sean, Chris and I had a child together. Sean leaned back. I'm gonna take care of you. You're not like Chris. You're loyal. Faith had a tear in her eye as she responded, he didn't have to die. Did she know? Was this her trying to find out if Sean intentionally killed Biggie? Sean lost it. That fat fuck and that other piece of shit I had you fuck? You had her fuck Pac? Sean glared at me and he answered, yes, fucking Pac. Those motherfuckers was going to try to start their own label and compete with me? Me? Mm-hmm.
Faith Evans is Diddy's secret agent. So he sent her to be with Biggie.
To be with Pac.
And since they're going to work together, she sent her to go be with Pac also.
After all I did for that fat fuck, I wasn't using resources to protect that motherfucker. No fucking way. I'll make sure you and CJ are taken care of. I hugged Sean, but I also knew he didn't have to send Chris to California. I wondered if he realized that he sentenced him to his death. But when I tried dating someone else, they would end up dead from pneumonia.
What?
I knew Sean was behind it. This was not a coincidence. He gets jealous of a guy and then they die of pneumonia. I could be next.
What the fuck?
If I am going to get out of this alive, I'm going to have to do something to make him stay away from me. I had a plan, but it's dangerous. I would get into the vault and get a couple of the tapes, take them home, make copies. This was my way out. Some of the tapes had things I would never have expected. The gay parties are one thing, but the young boys like Usher, Bow Wow, Justin, I would have never known. Things were okay for a while. I started dating again. It was almost normal until I got serious with someone. Then my boyfriend died of pneumonia.
No.
That's what she said. I'm not feeling very well. Thank God the kids aren't here this weekend so I can rest. Well, why can't I get my doctor? Why won't he pick up the phone? Oh no. I called Sean from my bedroom. Sean picked up with an air of superiority in his tone that let me know it was too late for me. He spoke confidently into the phone. Hello, I screamed at him. You bastard. There's literally nothing I can do. I could only ask, did you ever love me? Instead of answering the question, he responded, the most important thing to me in the world is loyalty. I gave you everything. You went to someone else. You left me just like everyone else did. And you were going to expose me? I shouldn't have threatened him. I should have just published the book. I'm going to die, like Heavy D, like Biggie, like Pac, like so many others. And it's because he is a monster, plain and simple. Then I shot out a group text. I let everyone know he got me. Then I called 911. As I sat here waiting for the ambulance, I'm writing this chapter and praying that I make it to the hospital. I don't feel like writing anymore. I may not be around to see it print. It's okay. I'm sending it out. He won't get away with this.
This whole thing is literally like a freaking movie. But one thing I learned from years of looking at TV is that television and movies, where you think the idea comes from? the idea of the movie came from real life. So Diddy's doings is like a movie, but the movies are like Diddy's doings. Because at the end of the day, a movie is inspired by true things that actually happen. But you never knew it was rappers doing it. But it is. This whole thing is really sad and scary. But it is what it is. But I'm out of here. I may do a live later on this evening. And after our Zoom call. So before y'all go, we're having our first Zoom meeting tonight at 8 o'clock. So click the link that is in the chat right now. Thank you for always a great time. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. So the Zoom call tonight is going to be about emotional wellness. It's going to be about Diddy stuff. And it's also going to be about how to actually build your brand on YouTube and how to make more money. So make sure to click the link if you're interested in any of that. And I'll see you this evening at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. Y'all have a good rest of y'all night. Well, evening.
How about we meet up at a coffee shop and play this fun dating card game? What
a solution that will help every woman watch. I just came up with a solution that will help every woman watching, regardless of age, regardless of background. See, in my 7 years of coaching women, the number one thing that I hear in my coaching sessions is her issue or tumultuous relationship with her mother. So what I've done is come out with a card game that will actually help mothers and daughters come back together. We have to get to the source of a woman's pain, her inadequacies, her insecurities, and heal that little girl inside of her before she goes out in the world as a woman. I call Like Mother, Like Daughter therapy in a box. Therapy in a box. It's 50 questions for the daughter to ask the mother, questions that you always wanted to ask. And it's also 50 questions for the mother to ask the daughter. But when you're able to ask the questions that you always wanted to ask to your mother without her getting upset, without her pulling rank on you, the lines of communication are now open. When women are finally able to forgive their mother, forgive their father, forgive what happened to them, and most importantly, hear her mother's side of the story that she never divulged to you, relationships outside of the household would then blossom. Because for most women, there's a hurt little girl inside of her that never had an opportunity to be seen or heard. All of the resentment, the lack of being heard, but all that stops when you buy my new Like Mother, Like Daughter card game. Order it now. The link is under this video. Click the link and let's start healing.
How about we meet up at a coffee shop and play this fun dating card game? We'll have fun and see if we're compatible all at the same time.
Ooh, what's the name of the game?
It's called Deeper Discussions.
I'm down.
Okay, meet you at 6.
Fellas, buy this card game. Ladies, buy this card game. Buy about 2 or 3 card games. The main reason why people can't stay together isn't because they don't like each other no more. It's actually because their present family issues come up or their past family issues come up. But when you play Deeper Discussions, you'll be able to understand a person's family issues up front.
This game can be played with either 2 people or an entire group. So have fun.
Question number 1. Name a time when money was the main factor why a relationship went bad.
Deeper Discussions Dating Edition. Again, these cards are good for vetting a potential boyfriend, a potential girlfriend, a potential husband, a potential wife. The texture of these cards are so soft and silky, by the way. Like
they ain't gonna get
really
wore out.
Durable.
A dating card game for introverts who have a hard time asking the much needed compatibility questions. Deeper Discussions, the card game.